Have you ever heard a story so strange that it sounds impossible? A story about deadly shipwrecks, a dangerous stretch of ocean, and three people connected by one unbelievable detail. The same name. That name was Hugh Williams. To understand this mystery, we have to travel to Wales, to a narrow body of water called the Menai Strait. From above, it looks beautiful. Green hills surround the blue water, birds fly above the waves, and ships pass through peacefully. But beneath that beauty hides a dangerous secret. In the year 1664, a large wooden passenger ship entered these waters. The ship carried many passengers and sailors. Among them was a man named Hugh Williams. At the time, nobody knew this ordinary journey would become part of one of history's strangest stories. The passengers relaxed as the ship moved through the water. Sailors worked the ropes. Families stayed together. The ocean looked calm. Everything seemed normal. But the Menai Strait could change in an instant. Slowly, the weather began to turn. Dark clouds gathered above the ship. The waves became stronger. The calm waters that once looked peaceful became dangerous. The wind grew stronger. The massive wooden ship struggled against the ocean. The sailors fought to control the ship as waves crashed around them. The passengers realized they were in serious danger. Then disaster struck. The powerful waves destroyed the ship. The wooden hull broke apart. The ocean swallowed the remains of the vessel. Many people were lost in the disaster. But among the wreckage, one person survived. A man named Hugh Williams. Alone in the freezing ocean, he held onto a piece of broken wood and waited for rescue. Against all odds, he lived. For more than a century, the story of the 1664 shipwreck remained just another tragedy at sea, until something happened that would make people question whether it was simply a coincidence. In 1785, another ship entered the same dangerous waters of the Menai Strait. Once again, disaster struck. And once again, rescuers searched the wreckage for survivors. When the rescue was over, only one person had survived. And the survivor had a name that sounded impossible. Hugh Williams. A different man. A different century. The same name. Two separate shipwrecks. The same dangerous location. More than 100 years apart. And the only survivors shared the exact same name. The story became one of the strangest coincidences ever connected to a shipwreck. But the mystery did not end there. According to the famous legend, another shipwreck happened in 1820. And this time, the story became even stranger. The legend says two people survived that disaster. And both survivors were said to have the same name. Hugh Williams. A coincidence so unusual that it sounded almost impossible. 3 shipwreck stories. Several survivors. 1 repeated name. But how much of the story is true? And how much became exaggerated over time? The first Hugh Williams was rescued from the ocean after surviving the 1664 disaster. His survival was real enough to become part of the strange history surrounding the Menai Strait. After being saved, Hugh Williams returned from the disaster alive. A journey that should have ended in tragedy became the beginning of a story people would remember for centuries. Over time, stories of shipwrecks around the Menai Strait were written down and passed from generation to generation. The name Hugh Williams became connected with one of the most unusual maritime legends. The Menai Strait remains a beautiful place, but its strong currents and narrow waters remind us why sailors feared this passage for centuries. Was it an unbelievable coincidence? Was it a legend that grew larger with every retelling? Or is there something about the Hugh Williams story that we still do not fully understand? Maybe we will never know. But centuries later, one name still captures people's imagination. Hugh Williams.